Welcome back to the CORSAIR DreamHack Masters 2019, everybody. We're live and direct from Dallas, Texas. One of the biggest states in the entire nation itself, and actually, if you didn't know this, Texas is larger than any other European country. It's quite weird like that, considering all the countries represented here at the DreamHack Masters this week, to include that of Faze Clan and Windigo, which is what we're about ready to jump into here. Again, the best of one to kick things off, and this is really where you want to start your journey down this bracket if you are attending the CORSAIR DreamHack Masters. I am. My name's Trace. This is Chad. This is Jacob, and we're going to tell you why you should be watching this matchup.
We can do that. Unfortunately, I am always honest, and
oh, great.
Look, I'm going to get this out of the way straight away.
Okay.
Any team coming into this event with a stand-in that doesn't speak their native language, I feel like I don't have the time of day for, right? And the reason I say that is because in Counter-Strike, it's about the evolution, it's about the tournaments, it's about the constant building. And towards the start of the year, Windigo, they won WSG. They were looking good. Ships was having a breakout event. You know, it was looking fantastic. We've got Poison in there on the AWP. Everything's good. As soon as you tell me that you're replacing one of your individuals with Calix, a Turkish player who doesn't speak English very well, and the rest of the squad speaks Bulgarian, I lose any faith I could have had in this.
Yeah, and it's not even just so much in this matchup. I mean, we're talking about this entire bracket. Let's just go ahead and look at Group A for everything that's encompassed there, because this group is starting to shape up in a way that we could have seen coming. Perhaps you didn't see coming, Jacob.
No, I didn't see North beat Vitality. I think there was a strong display by North, but obviously there was
and me,
probably...
of course.
And you, of course, Chad, always
yeah,
right.
And Chad, yeah.
Fine, yeah, just keep quiet over here. I think that that was the match of the day, or could have potentially been the match of the day, North going up against Vitality. I still think Vitality have a more than decent chance of going through the lower bracket, so nothing really out of the ordinary here, but I'm looking forward to see how much of a, you know, a struggle Windigo can put on Faze, because there's no doubt Faze should be winning this, but does it even get close? Yeah,
in a brawly style of CS, you know, that Faze are historically known for playing because it's based on individuals, then this could be a close game. This is where we're going to really see what Neo, obviously the latest addition to Faze Clan, can bring. And that's the biggest talking point of this whole thing, right?
Yeah. And that's exactly a great place to start, Chad. You pretty much nailed that one. It's like you read the manuscript and everything considered. We do have Faze Clan, we do have Windigo, we do have a map veto on our hands. So perhaps we just jump right into all of it as that.
If you have been watching any of Faze's matches recently, they've been playing a lot of Nuke. Well, they've only played 7 maps, first of all, with the other team. They played some Vertigo. They did a little bit of everything, right? And I would say that their ECS matches were for practice sake. So wherever they actually want to take this veto is what they've been doing in the environment where we actually haven't been able to watch them. I think they were just trying to buff their Nuke in a official environment, see how it kind of pays out. I don't expect them to be playing it here by any means. However, it is still left in the veto.
No, we're good. So no Nuke, but what I do have for you is Dust2 for the second map of the day.
Okay, so something to note about Windigo, at least when they played it with their official roster, is quite fast and explosive, very in your face. But the same thing can be said for Faze. When Nico was in-game leading, Nico and Rain would just barrel straight down mid doors and push on out. So there's some similarities in the way they like to approach this map.
And the most interesting, obviously, you've touched on the fact that Neo is going to be leading Faze Clan. That's what we're going to start talking about first, is Faze Clan. What a time to be alive when this is what we see on our screen.
How does it make you feel, Jacob?
I don't know. I'm a little bit surprised to see this iteration of Faze coming up, and I'm very curious to see how well they can play with Neo being the in-game leader. The thing that I struggle with is that we didn't really get to see Neo in Virtus Pro being a strong, demanding in-game leader. And I feel that if you come into a team like Faze, you gotta be that. If you gotta control Nico, if you gotta control Rain, and even Olafmaster from time to time, you gotta have some sort of like aura around you that can really take the lead of the team. And it doesn't seem like that's the kind of leader Neo is.
Well, perhaps it is the fact that Neo, being the long-tenured and the long-accomplished player that he is, maybe that helps to drive some of that forced respect there.
Yeah.
And perhaps Yanko is also pushing that.
But look at Chet, right? Does he have any respect in Australia right now?
Well, he beat G2 once.
Yeah, and Titan as well.
Well, I guess we'll call him Titan. Regardless. Anyway, the point of the matter here is that this right now, first impressions do matter, right? And this is Neo's first official with these guys on LAN. So if they perform well here, that sets a good tone. But in the 7 maps that they played online, and sure, I just mentioned it was for practice purposes, Rain was the highest rated, then it was Olaf, then it was Guardian, then it was Nico, and then it was Neo, right? Yeah. So the biggest issue there is, obviously there's a handover period between Nico and Neo. You know, where's this in-game leadership stuff going to go? And Neo needs to be grabbing that mantle. I think we already spoke about the fact that the in-game leaders the coaches can talk here during freestyle. So there is a safety net for the entirety of the team, and that might help them through with Yanko being able to chip in consistently. But this is very important right now for Faze, considering the situation. Versing a team with a stand-in, having your first debut for the future of this Faze Clan with Neo on board. It's very important for them to get a victory here.
Yeah, there's a lot of question marks throughout this Faze lineup, and we have to take a look now at Windigo and start to talk about what the... I'll just go ahead and say it's a travesty that they have to come here and play with the stand-in.
Yeah, the picture tells it all.
Very indicative here as to what we're looking at. Again, if you're not up to speed, Calyx is in here, in fact, sliding right in the standings.
If you had to pick any, though, to bring into this team that didn't speak the native language of the team, I feel Calyx is a good pick. I mean, the way he plays Counter-Strike is very explosive. The way he tends to be on a high individual level is good. So if you had to pick one and you can find a Bulgarian player that is nowhere near good enough, then Calyx is a good addition. He's a strong individual player. We have seen that from time to time in Space Showcase. So that they got going for them. But I think the real interesting thing about this lineup and in general the Bulgarian scene is the guy called Poison. I think this is the next big thing coming out from this region. I think he could potentially be a guy that could go international and play on a much better and a much more structured and stronger team than Windigo.
I mean, Chad, we saw them at WESG through our commentary days. You know, they're very short-lived, but they existed. They happened.
Yeah.
But we got to see some real lethal action coming out of Windigo, especially on an overpass.
Yeah, like ships especially, right? But that was one of those performances that, I don't want to say it's once in a blue moon, but the way that he approached that was with no respect, right? He was aggressive the entire time. We saw some absolutely dirty timings on pushes and plays that once a team knows that you're going to go for that, they should be able to stop you, but they're going to need that level of performance out of both ships and Poison here. Those two are the stars. So I'm glad that, you know, Blocker would be the third star, the third rung in this team, but for him to be missing as opposed to Poison or ships, I don't feel it's as integral, at least in terms of frag impact.
Sure.
It's obviously going to be detrimental, but it's not as detrimental if you lost your primary AWP of Poison. That's much harder to replace.
Yes, and I would have to agree because we're talking about key core components within a lineup.
Look at that chain.
Yes, that is a serious chain right there, Chad. You wish you had a chain like that.
I don't really do man jewelry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perhaps someday. Perhaps there's a finger that'll have one on there. But until then, we can begin to talk about what is Dust2.
It's a very dusty map.
Yeah.
Nice, guys. Nice.
No, as I mentioned before, both these teams, at least in what I've seen from Windigo play on Dust2, it's quite aggressive and explosive, right? It's quick and to the point. They make decisions very swiftly off of opening kills. They don't, you know, posture around too much in the mid-rounds.
I think it was the map that I first saw the reaction of YNK coming into Faze really having an adaptation to. I think Faze changed the way they play Dust2 a little bit, bringing him into the lineup. They tried to be more structured. I still agree they play explosive, they play fast, but they also have something to fall back on now, and I think that's one of the extra levels YNK adds to Faze, and Dust2 was probably the first map we got to see that play out.
Yeah, and that does make sense. It also makes sense for you to chime into chat with your vote. That's right, Twitch chat. We are enlisting you to let us know who you think will be winning in this matchup. Exclamation point Faze or exclamation point win. Depending on who you think will be walking away with the map of Dust2 in this best of one. And while we start to tally in those votes, we have an entire analytical crew in the back diving into those numbers.
Crunching the numbers.
We're going to be crunching some numbers here between two players. And I believe it's a clear-cut case.
Yeah, it has to be Neo and then it has to be Calyx, right? And the reasons for these are few and far between. It is because Neo, as the in-game leader, we don't need a performance from him in terms of frags. We need what you mentioned, the respect to be there and then to, you know, actually have a good game plan and be able to use all these very talented pieces of the puzzle. And then the other side of things, when we look at Calyx, there's him as an individual. We need him just to be average. We just, but he doesn't need to, like, he doesn't need a peak or anything. He just needs to make sure that he can plug the hole that's been left from Blocker.
Let's plug the holes on the prediction board, because that's the game we're playing up here. Not only are you invited to join on your Twitch chat at home, but we're going to be doing a little bit of predictions up here ourselves, and we'll maybe start with you, Jacob.
Yeah, it'd be a huge disappointment to me if Faze does not win this game, and I think they're going to do it in a very convincing manner. And I think it's a good start for Neo as well. Getting into the first LAN environment with them and getting what should be an easy matchup should be a good thing for them. But if it even gets remotely close, I'll be disappointed in Faze.
I can almost echo that sentiment. Like, it would be disappointing to see them get pushed all the way to 16-14, but it is a best of one. I know we're putting more stock in best of ones now with all the changes that have come on in, but I think there's going to be... Faze are going to be learning about themselves in this tournament, right? Game by game, they're going to be adjusting. I don't expect them to come out and just, you know, have a 16-3 win. I think they'll get the victory, but probably a reasonable scoreline. We're talking about like a 16-8, 16-10, something along those lines. Yeah,
but not something where Windigo was ever really in charge of the matchup at hand.
They just win the rounds they should.
Yeah, and that can make a lot of sense. And I actually kind of echo that with you guys as well. I'm going to say Faze Clan takes this just on the premise that they've had a little bit of time to get comfortable. They've had probably just enough time to get all the basics, all the protocols that they want to have, especially on a map like Dust2 that they're going to be seeing a lot.
Yeah, this is a map that you would hope is the bread and butter of Faze going forward. The Dust2s, obviously Mirage was saying they were very good at. And the reason for that is because the individuals can all take over scenarios. They have fantastic mid-rounds. They play off of each other very well. All we need to come into it is maybe when it does get to crunch time, having Neo to come in with a set piece or understanding something that can be exploited. Whereas maybe Faze before more like a blunt object, they just keep running into the wall until they either won or lost.
Yeah, and that also relied on a lot of the individual shooters that Faze has, sharpshooters at that. I mean, this is a star-studded lineup, and they can certainly cause a ruckus here against Windigo, but I kind of just want to say that Faze Clan probably will look a little bit shaky out of the gate.
They should, right? They should, and that's the thing for me with this Faze lineup and picking up Neo. There's no doubt that he's a great player. There's no doubt he knows how to play Counter-Strike, and he could potentially be a great leader. We don't really know yet, but the fact that they're missing some of that individual star power on the team that they had before, there's no doubt that when you line up Neo against Adrian is a much better player individual-wise.
Yeah, did he contribute a lot to the team, though?
That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
But can Neo come into the team and put himself in a position where he either enables Nico to be the Nico we know, or Rain to be the Rain we know, or does he have to step in sometimes and be that individual force to be reckoned with as well, which he wasn't in Virtus Pro in the later stages at all.
Let's talk, I mean, because we did say we were going to highlight Neo and Calyx. We're still going to do that.
Okay.
I promised you guys a good time. I promised you a good time, and we're going to give you that right about now.
We're just revving the engine a little bit.
Yeah, just kind of like, tapping the gas, making sure that the car is making noise.
It's like a really cold morning, right? You got to get out there. It's back in the day. The newer viewers, they wouldn't understand.
I mean, we're talking about viewers that have probably just grabbed a lot of their driver's license for the first time.
They were born with cell phones.
Yeah, that's true. You know that time I promised you guys Neo and Calyx, I might have actually...
Again?
Might have fibbed a little bit right there.
Oh, man.
But it's not a problem. I mean, all of the points are still there. Everything is just still driven home to the fact that Windigo, even coming into this with their full lineup, probably are going to be meeting a much harsher opponent.
That's the thing, right? Because they weren't looking good coming into this tournament, even with Blocker. They were at the DreamHack tournament, the DreamHack Open, and they didn't play well. They lost to Mousesports in a very convincing fashion. They were never really close to making that a close game. And in general, everything with this Windigo lineup has just been a little bit disappointing ever since the WEST win. They haven't really been able to ride that momentum.
Right.
They did qualify for this tournament, and that is in itself an accomplishment for a team like this, but not being able to sort of like repeat that success we saw in China when they won the entire thing is, to me, a little bit disappointing and a worrying sign for this team, because it's been like this for a long, long time.
Yep. Well, we're going to go ahead and, I believe, skip the results, head on into the commentators. The casters sitting by. We do have Anders Bloom and Jason O'Toole. These guys are ready to get it going. Looks like Anders a little more so than Jason, but that's completely fine.
Whoa!
It's not bad. You're on time, man.
It was just this cable thing. I just had to get it behind me.
I think we knew the results of the poll anyway. It was obviously 80% towards Faze.
Had to have been.
Yeah.
It's just the namesake.
No one?
Fans have some fans out there. It was all right.
I'll tell you what.
It was pretty decent, Chad.
Why don't you guys tell us who you think's going to win, and then we'll just give it to you on that note.
Tifu.
I'll
Shout out Chad.
Yeah, just doing it. I'm gonna let you go first, Moses.
I'm taking Faze on this one.
All right.
I mean, should it really be a surprise? Are you gonna take Windigo? You're gonna do the classic?
No, I'm gonna take Faze. I was just hoping I could trick you.
Trying to bait me into it?
Yeah, I gotta give you the chance, Yeah, we're gonna. I mean, this is gonna be definitely a rough game, I think, for Windigo, but you never know. Faster ones and all that, and the fact that that's what it's about. Neo on the lineup and everything.
It's a strange one. I'm not gonna lie. That was a real head scratcher when that pickup was announced. I mean, I look at it as kind of like high risk, low reward. Like I don't see the payoff for it long. Even if it works out as planned, is that going to be the thing that puts you over the top and lets you contend for trophies again? I don't see that.
Well, the major that VP won was in-game led by Neo.
Yeah.
I just want to say that.
Yeah, but I mean that he was in-game leading people he'd been playing with for like years.
Yeah, it is.
This is a whole new can of worms, isn't it? Now, I will say I have the utmost faith in Neo to find some kind of resurgence. The question is, what level will it be at, right? He's been able to adapt to pretty much every scenario you can throw at him in professional Counter-Strike. And he's been able to adapt from being a star player to a support player. He's been an AWPer. He's been an entry fragger. He's been an in-game leader. So I have faith that he's going to have some kind of an impact. I just don't think it's going to be as much as FaZe would like.
No, it might not be. It isn't entirely clear, is it, like where the project is going? But I don't know. I'm kind of excited about it. I feel like it's going to be fun to see. And I mean, one of the questions asked on the desk was something like, will it give Nico the chance to be who he really could be, or Rain or something like that? I don't know. I don't think that's out of the question. That doesn't sound like a crazy thing for me to sort of, because I don't think what they need is more star players, right? So if Neo could just be like the glue a little bit between them.
Yeah, but then you're relying on the other thing that we've been talking about with Faze for, what, a year now, is can Olaf and Guardian find like some kind of peak in form, some kind of level that they used to have that we haven't seen them get to recently? Like, is that the trust you're putting in now with this Neo pickup? Is not just Nico being unlocked as an in-game leader, doesn't have to worry about that responsibility anymore, but also Olaf and Guardian coming to some level that we've seen in the past that made them one of the best players in the world. So here we go. We're about to find out. My first glimpse at this Faze with Neo in the picture.
Yeah, and they actually, early on, Windigo, that is, on the T side here on Dust2, smoking off the headshot box down in the middle. And now they're sneaking through lower dark. Rain could get surprised here. He's looking for the headshot, and he's going to get it as well. They're out the middle, and he will have heard that. So a lot of information on top of the kill here for the Faze side, and they're trying to see if they get this B split in, but it is looking very dark for them at the moment. Rain with one more headshot. Olaf got one in between as well, so still looking very much in their favor. And that, I think, was the nail in the coffin there. Poison out of bullets, and Rain will take him down for the triple.
What a round by Rain. That is not an easy thing to hold off a mid to B split on a pistol round in that fashion, and Olaf does great work out of the door as well. One more kill for him. That's a lot of the presence in mid that's taken away. Some laughter coming out of the Faze side, just chuckling it off in a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, exciting times. I'm wondering, just on the topic of, you know, Olaf and Guardian, how they're doing. Like, if Rain and Nico are playing well, do you need anything else, really? Like, is that it's going to be enough, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, it's just, you know, having them once in a while, even if they're just players who can step up here and there. I think that's the big thing.
Yeah, supporting cast, you know.
I mean, there are certain teams that you'll struggle even with Nico and Rain going off, right? Like your Team
Right.
Liquids, your Astralises, like those guys are going to be tough to beat, even with just two people having really good games.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't think it's as crazy as it seems. But,
Okay.
But let's
Time
give
will
it
tell.
let's get a little bit of run, you know. We'll see how it goes. No bomb plant and, you know, no real investment into this round for Windigo. They're going to be waiting around a little bit.
It feels like Guardian wants to get aggressive into Upper Dark. He's waiting for the timing, listening for information and the occasional shoulder peek. It's Nico who might be in some trouble. Just a USP, no investment. He's got a lot of information. Guardian still hasn't budged either. And up catwalk we go.
Yeah, absolutely everybody from the team there. It's on the receiving end, Rain. And with the M4, all 30 bullets, we're back in M4A4 territory. Even with the run boost, I think he's going to be fine. There's a 2B waiting as well. Oh, God, this sort of failed a run boost. That might have been for the best, actually.
We see that run boost get failed quite frequently. Nice shots coming out from Faze as the backup arrives on the ramp, and they clean things up quite easily. No one even passes Gandalf. 2-0 in the favor of Faze, and the AKs come out for Windigo.
Yeah, no one passes. That's a good little wordplay. I like it.
Yeah.
It's actually been a long time since I've seen Lord of the Rings.
Has it?
Yeah, I haven't really bothered to rewatch it.
Delta has Fellowship of the Ring on the plane.
All right.
So I give that a watch once in a while.
I feel like they should go all in and reboot that as a series, like, you know, modern day series, like 10 seasons.
They're making a TV series of Lord of the Rings.
Oh, well, there we go.
Just a heads up, there is a technical pause. We did have a player from Faze drop out of the server, so we'll be right back into the action in just a moment. Yeah, they're doing, I think, I guess it would be the prequels for Lord of the Rings. It'd be like the Silmarillion, I think.
Oh, okay. That's a little bit too hardcore for me. I feel like...
I tried to read that book. It is very intense.
Yeah.
I got like a chapter in or like, 20 pages in, and I was like, I can't do this. There's too much going on.
Even Lord of the Rings, I mean, I actually did read all the books, but like the first one especially, like in the first 200 pages is just them messing around the Shire.
Yep. Takes a bit to get into it, but once you get in...
Once you get in, it's good, but yeah, it is slow to begin, for sure. Well, I'm excited for that. I think that's good news. Have you been watching any great TV shows lately?
Chernobyl.
Yeah, everyone's talking about that.
Yeah, it's really good.
I haven't watched it, but I had sort of a deep interest in it at one point. So I feel like
you get into it. The TV show, it's intense.
Yeah.
It gives you that like awkward, eerie feeling while you're watching it. It's really, really cool. They do a good job with it.
Well, I'm definitely gonna watch it then.
Watch Game of Thrones, of course.
I actually haven't watched any of the new seasons, so
I'm not missing much.
I'm way behind on that.
Yeah,
I saw people were upset about it. It's fine, you know.
I mean, I didn't sign the petition or anything, but...
You didn't sign? Well, that's good, because that seemed like
That's a bit of a dick move.
utter waste of time as well, you know. Just Yeah, not really into that. I've been watching The Expanse. Have you seen that?
No, I've heard
Now,
good things about that though as well.
Is a good show. I was shocked by how good that was.
Yeah, everyone has told me that because it seems kind of like a little weird, a little goofy
Yeah.
to me.
Well, especially in the beginning, I wasn't, because I didn't like sort of the main character that you get introduced to. But
It's not a major channel, is it? Either that show. It's out on. Is that like a sci-fi show or something?
yeah.
Sci-fi puts out some really cool shows. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I've really been impressed by it. It's just, it's been well worth it. So definitely go and watch that. So still technical timeout being unfolded here. Yeah, good days on Faze. They seem to be happy. I was having
They had some time off too, right? They had a boot camp prior to this.
Yeah,
so,
they did.
When you bring in Neo and then you have some time to actually work on some things, that's got to have you feeling much, much better than, you know, flying a Duran around to every single tournament, not really having a whole lot of time.
I was having 2 days ago. I was having Mexican food with Yanko and Nico and Neo. So that was a good time.
Okay. Name dropping.
Yeah.
How cool are you?
Yeah. Took some pictures for my Instagram as well. Stuff like that.
How was Mexican food? Is it good?
It was very good.
I was here in Texas, I'm assuming?
That was right here, and yeah, it was amazing. So it's well worth it. Neo he's such a nice guy, isn't he? Like,
he is a nice guy. He does some cool stuff too. I message him once in a while on Instagram because he's always doing like some cool vacation. Like he was like biking to like the top of a foggy mountain and stuff like that. So I always hit him up and tell him he's doing cool shit. Cool stuff.
Well, there we go. Third round coming up. We're out of the tech pause, and we've got AKs in the hands of Windigo. So maybe we could finally see something really interesting here. Nico taking that fight for a long time, and Calyx, that's a beautiful opening. Nico, he wants to have a little bit of revenge here. His rain goes down. They're going to set up more flashbangs. Nico turning around, and he never gets out of that one alive. Back into the B-bomb site. Guardian goes, and Olof holding here with the FAMAS. He's going to get the one kill, but surely not more than that. Poison will take him down, and now Guardian low with an MP9 of all weapons that he could have had here. He's going to get run down. Low percentage chance to win that.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that mid-fight. There's a reason we don't see CTs challenging in that fashion, that dedicated too often, and Rain gets caught spamming into the smoke towards Catwalk. And then Nico sticks around for a fight. Even that being said, there was still a chance to recover the round. If Olof had gotten those 2 kills in halls and eliminated half the attack, they might have still been able to survive. Unfortunately, it's not to be. So, 2-1. I think Neo just looking to see if he can salvage an AK maybe on the exit. Maybe someone does something silly. Not going to happen. And Windigo get an AWP and 4 players surviving in this round.
You wonder if that could be one of those. I mean, it's really early on, so I doubt if FaZe are already sort of tricking themselves into that. But we have in the past seen teams that, you know, are sort of like, you know, really heavy favorites, and they let it get to them early on. They just, you know, they
trying to be cocky, trying to like just kind of win by skill. Yeah, this just seemed weird, and I don't want to say like, I guess maybe in a way they thought it was going to be another save, but why would you think that? There wasn't a buy on the second round, you know? There's going to be some AKs on the board.
Yeah.
So they get caught napping.
Just a couple of grenades over at long to, you know, pretend a little bit. And FaZe don't really keep anyone around for it, so they're not really buying it. Neo sending everybody back and just sticking around himself with the MP9 down there. Not exactly a great weapon, by the way, to hold that long position with, but feels comfortable.
Well, if you stay close up, I think the big worrying thing is he's one of only 2 kits, and that's a kit if it goes down at long. It's not really going to recover that. Another mid to B split coming in, or attempted. Olof on the box, he'll be able to peer over the smoke unless they have that second follow-up or the Molotov. Poison down to about half HP. A lot of spam coming through, but Olof's taking so much damage from the flames. Great peek from Guardian. That should handle it. Still, he's the only B defender. The site is now open for business. Oh my God! Bubble pulls it out of nowhere. A great spray through the smoke and transfer down.
That was absolutely outrageous, wasn't it? He predicted the angle through and just continued. What a play that was. Now Poison falling back, and he's got one shot here. Misses with the orb. He's going to get run down. Neo right on the other side, and he gets the shot. Poison to pick up Neo on the flank, and now it's all on Nico here. 1 versus 2, and this is very hard to do. Like, how does he get through the window? Yeah, he tries to take that shot, and one more bullet would have done it, but it's going to be Windigo picking up the round, and that's now 2-2.
Oh, I cannot believe that from Bubble.
Yeah, that was well done.
I cannot believe he opens up this entire round. He had no reason to be involved in this. Predicts the angle and gets the follow-up on Rain as well. That hurts, and that is now the payback of that small mistake in the third round, or actually I should say huge mistake, of Rain and Nico so aggressive in mid, both getting picked off. Now you're broken. Now Windigo have a real chance to take this lead. Poison's going to have the opening kill. They're not going to stop at the B bomb site for just a USP, and that's the site open. It'll be a third round for Windigo.
Yeah, Rain got tagged by Poison jumping 2B, and then back he got killed going back again, also through the wall. So that's a good time. Just Nico left, and he's been spotted. Did get a headshot there, but ultimately a real shooting gallery going on as Bubble will take him down at the end. And Windigo now leading the match 3-2, which is still a little bit early on, but you know, that should wake FaZe up somewhat.
I'd like to think so, especially if they start piling it on, especially if they're able to win this round. I think a dangerous thing for FaZe at the moment is the money already ballooning for Windigo. Poison at 9,000, Ships at 7,000, so plenty of cash behind these investments. And again for FaZe, one player, Guardian, heading over towards the B bomb site. He's got an op, no armor. With no armor as well, a pretty wide angle, all things considered. If he hits that, if he misses that shot, he's going down.
Yeah, he does have a smoke.
It's going to be another mid-B split, Anders.
Yeah, it definitely will be. Or an Olaf, does he get the right timing? It looks like it. Quick revenge for Calyx there. After Victor goes down, Rain, yeah, he saw that just in the last second, and there's Guardian picking up Ships. That's definitely going to help out. Now, this B push has been slowed down a lot, and I don't think Bubble, yeah, he's not going to read this. How could he? What a play from Rain.
Hey, you got a little bit of a bait and switch from Olaf. Olaf going down there. No one expected Rain to be in that corner. Normally, it's just the one rotation, but because FaZe is playing one player in B initially, two players are actually rotating it over, and Windigo haven't spotted that. Not an easy detail to pick out either.
No, definitely not. Well, just going to tie it up 3-3. Ships has yet to land any kills. You know, still early on, halfway through the first half, so not too panicked, but they almost lined up for Nico. That could have been beautiful. They're going to fall back. Oh, and actually, Neo is going to save them. That could have been devastating there. That AK spray could have connected with both players and took them both down, but instead, it's now a 5-on-3 in favor of FaZe, and looking so much better here for the E defense. Actually sneaking through the smoke inside is Neo with 7 health. And he's somehow managed to get him behind them. He's going to get one more kill. That's a double, and yeah, Bullet finally connects, but still, he did everything he needed to. That's a job well done. Now, 3 versus 2 here, and no bomb plant.
They have to take out Nico before they get this bomb plant. That's what they're worried about. They want to find him before they feel comfortable. They know the Molotov got extinguished by the smoke, so Nico just using the edge of this to creep out into a new position. The smoke is going to start fading, though. There's the flash. He's already into safety, though. Ship still thinks he's in the corner. Great mobility, good risk-taking from Nico as well with 18 HP. It's Poison left alone. And at this point, if you're him, at least get the bomb down for your team.
He's got no grenades or anything, so, I mean, how does he do this? Sort of playing for the win, I think, more than what you were suggesting, which is getting the money bonus. Yeah. So, yeah, a little bit of a shame, but it's going to be FaZe now back in the lead. 4-3, and a timeout being called here for Windigo, as they are out of money. Well, they have a lot of poison. I don't know if it could drop. Maybe it could. Yeah, probably
If
could.
I bought you that shirt, Anders, would you wear it?
What's on it? Oh.
All the skulls.
All the skulls. I don't know. I feel like...
Would that be your new gym shirt?
No, I love my gym shirt.
Okay.
It's got sacred meaning to me now. I feel like I've got too old to wear that kind of thing.
To wear skulls?
I was just out shopping for clothes models because one of the downsides of losing weight is that you have to replace your wardrobe.
They don't tell you that.
They really don't tell you that. Yeah. The blazer that I'm wearing now, but the one that I had before, I got to wear like 3 times and that was it. So
yeah, that was a new blazer as well. I was surprised when I saw you in this one. I was like, okay, that's 2 events, and Anders has bought a new blazer at both of them, which is more new blazers than you bought in the past 5 years.
Yeah, well, that is actually true. But yeah, I was looking for different clothes, and I realized like all the stuff that I sort of when I was like, I can't wear that. Like I'm not 19 anymore.
It's expensive getting healthy, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I don't want to sound like it's a bad thing, you know. I wouldn't gain the weight to fit my old clothes, is what I'm trying to say, but. Did briefly cross my mind when I thought about the ice cream.
You were like, you know what, maybe this isn't worth it.
Round number 8, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't know, FaZe seem to be swinging back into it, so I feel like Windigo, if they wanted to go for that upset and win, they needed to roll that early. Like, they had them stunned a little bit with the first partition. Oh no, all for the smoke, and it's headshots for Neo. 2 of them with the Org. That's, I mean, what can you say about that?
Can't say much, especially coming through the smoke. They didn't even really know how to properly address it. Tough part for Nico is that's actually a pretty dangerous angle to swing wide on, so he's waiting patiently. They have 3 Molotovs. They can use that to force him out, but he's re-grabbing the angle. That's a shoulder from Poison. Rain shouldn't have too much of an issue with this. He spots the shadow, able to take out ships. It's all down to Victor.
Yeah, sees the player out there. Setting up for the flashbang as well. He just wants the kill, but he's not going to get it. Nico will take him down. Solid round out of FaZe here, surviving with 4 members. That's 5-3, and now they really are out of money. I kind of like the name Ships. I don't know why. I just feel like it sounds good, you know?
Yeah. Pleasantly rolls off the tongue. Ships.
It does. Now, they're only gonna have really pistols in this round, so I don't really see much happening here. I feel like this is not gonna be working out well in their favor. Maybe some deagle shots, but
the real identifying feature is no utility, right? Like no actual plan for this. It's like let's everyone try and get a kill somewhere, maybe group up together and see what happens with these deagles, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, and I think they just read that as well. Like, as soon as Guardian saw that down the middle, he was like, yeah, okay, I don't want to take that fight.
There's no point, right? And especially when you're the defense and you have a double op setup, like if those are the peaks they're going to be giving you, I think as an opper, you're going to love to take those. Guardian missing 1 at the upper B, a second as well, but you're giving them the opportunities. Nico's going to grab the other, and these ops, they should be able to do work, but this is not the Guardian we know and love.
No, not exactly. I mean,
Just some warm-up shots.
Yeah. Practicing a little bit, you know.
He didn't get a deathmatch, so, you know.
Maybe go and adjust your sensitivity halfway through the game. One of those things.
Just see him changing his res. He's like, yeah, screw this.
That would be...
I tried native for 9 rounds. I'm done with it.
That would be upsetting, wouldn't it? 6-3. FaZe starting a little bit more control. That's actually the 3rd shot Poison has hit through the middle.
Guardian wanted a follow-up as well. He wanted to peek when that shot came in, but a flashbang forced him out of the idea. Should be a good nade. They get behind the pillar quick enough. Olaf doesn't realize that he's about to have a lot of pressure put on him. This is a very similar mid-B split, except in the mid portion, it's just going to be a lurk from Bubble. But he wants to simulate a mid-to-B attack. Guardian up on top of the box gets 1. That leaves everything on Olaf.
How does he even do that? I mean, that's kind of surprising. Calyx, that's a nice double opening. The timing could not have been worse for Guardian, could it? I don't even know how he got the 1 kill, but...
They didn't have any information, even with an op not peeking deep in towards those tunnels, so Windigo is allowed to like get up right towards that entrance before making their move.
And they don't even really fight for it, FaZe, which I guess is not surprising.
Yeah, bomb site's lost. You know there's a player in middle. Bubble had already made presence. That's a lot of ways to lose all those weapons, and you have low utility, only 1 kit. That AWP is valuable as well, so I like this call from FaZe.
Yeah, I like the call from Windigo as well to even execute that strat to begin with. I thought that was a nice twist. I think the first time I saw it anyway, back in 14 or something, Fnatic used to do this thing where they would sort of go in that tunnel towards the B bomb site, and then they would actually smoke it off and boost behind it. Or if the enemy team had boosted it, had put the smoke down, they would just use that smoke and then boost to look into B, like from the T side, which is really exciting.
Yeah, you see that once in a while.
Yeah,
there's a lot of different ways to do it now. Like that T can smoke the entrance, and they can scoot out around to the left.
Yeah.
Or they can jump up on the boxes to the right. You can do the boost over. Some creative ways. Oh, another tag, Anders.
That's 4.
We used to do a thing if the opper tagged him on the cross, you put $1 in the kitty. Then you eventually give him all the money. $1 every time you like someone.
Wait, so who would get the money?
The opper.
All right. That sounds like a good idea. Like, that's motivation, right?
Get a little bit richer on 1.6 than you do here in CSGO.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Well, FaZe obviously are used to B hits being the thing for Windigo, so they have just stacked this up. 1 player in mid, close to the B bomb site, hiding on the pallets.
Oh, They're not even going to check it out. Guardian, that was a nice snap taking down Victor, and they're not going to check that corner, it looks like. So Olaf with a couple of kills. Yeah, you could all see they were focused on the doors instead. Ships comes back with a double, but he's going to be alone and, well, practically sprayed down the grenade. Oh, it's going to land right on top of his head, isn't it? That's devastating.
Don't think you can find the other AWP, though. Searching for it. One op down. They'll have to rebuy that.
They don't really make helmets for that kind of action, do they?
What, grenades?
Yeah.
High explosive devices? No, I don't think they really do.
I don't think so. I think it's done. 7-4.
If a grenade lands on your head?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. There should be an episode of Mythbusters or something checking that out, but and obviously not with people, you know.
Ships stood in the Molotov for a long time hoping for a peek, and I think FaZe had just seen him when they threw that Molotov out, so they just let him burn. Never gets that peek he wanted.
I admire the dedication, though. I feel like it's a chance for us, Moses, to have like one of those really good, you know, hindsight type analysis. You can say like he should have done that.
Those are good. Those are good fun.
Yeah. Of course, if they had peeked and he got the shot, we'd say, man, that was good.
Yeah, what a sick player.
Now, all of them stacking up, nearly all of them at least, on the catwalk, clearing it out. I feel like this is... Oh, I'm not liking what they're doing right now, Windigo, because I feel like FaZe are sort of a little bit back in control of this game.
Well, Windigo, they've come out with a pretty simple T-side. A lot of it has been grouped up. We've seen, what, 3 or 4 mid to B splits, or maybe 5 or 6 rounds total with emphasis on the B bomb site. Now grouping up on catwalk, and they have not enough utility for Nico. Not enough flashbangs, not the Molotov. Nico can't throw nades himself, so it might just be fine. And he's looking for that follow-up peek. The Alper is keeping him trained in, but they didn't see him for long enough, and Nico is playing this spectacularly.
Good headshot for Bubble there, but you're right. He did pretty much what he needed to at that point in time. Very low on health, both of the remaining T players here, so it won't be easy. Guardian going to pick up one, Rain with the other. And they will end up picking it off. I mean, from Wendigo's point of view, they realized how many people were in B the last time. So, all right, if they're adjusting to that B defense, then let's try and go A. And it sort of makes sense, but I feel like at that point you end up, you know, trailing FaZe a little bit. Like, you're sort of now following them a little bit too much, and
I think the biggest problem is it seems like they're worried to split up their manpower. They want to have these overwhelming attacks, and if you're going to try and take advantage of some successes you've had at the B bomb site, you need to at least simulate like you're going to hit the B bomb site. Like that is your end game, because your entire goal of running a fake in that fashion is to force a rotation away, is to cause a weakness in the defense by that rotation going away from A. And since you're actually just sending 4 players up catwalk and having 1 in mid, there's no one to apply that pressure, to force that movement out of the defense.
The coach, he's collecting high fives for everybody. He's got like a little notepad, writing everything down. It's not bad at all. Poison, who is... Oh, again! Do it!
Yeah, it's great, right? But they're not taking advantage of it. He's what? That's the 5th time now we've seen him hit that tag?
Yeah, it is.
And yeah, I mean, it's just interesting. I've seen at least 2, maybe 3 rounds where they've hit it, but not been able to close the round out. Up catwalk we go again.
We do have double scout and a bunch of deagles. They're going to get real close to this AK-47. Oh, Calix gets the headshot, but the flashbang was in, so a little bit there. And then he falls back into Bubble's line of sight. Gets taken down by the scout. What a weird scenario.
I mean, the problem is the reason why he hits that deagle shot, Nico's out in the open because he's throwing that flashbang for Rain. It was just... Oh, the timing is just a bit off. Chance for a retake here. Guardian, though, low HP against the scout, but he's got to be bold. He does have a teammate as well, back towards CT spawn, towards Elevator, who's creeping up. Poison, a lot of footsteps. He's going to let Guardian know that the avenue is open, but he's going around towards long.
A lot of creeping in. This orb could definitely end all of it. There's the spray, and he's going to pick up just both of them. No problem at all. Triple for him, and I don't know. That was a way better round than it should have been.
Yeah, definitely. They got bailed out by that timing with the Nico flashbang for Rain. I think as well, that's the 2nd time Rain's been able to get in that elevator position, or someone's been able to get there and have a fast transition to the railing. I think it was Rain previously. Wendigo's got to be careful about that position. They're not clearing it out when they take this A site.
9-4. Some of these rounds have been a little bit interesting, but the overall story now still has to be FaZe leading this quite a bit. And actually playing CT side Dust2 is not always great. Oh. All right.
Nico just jukes him out of his jockstrap. Lets him take 2 shots. You can see actually Poison even looked to consider that low peak after the first shot. Nico's got him on 3.
So we, you know, let out a little giggle after that happens. If you're Nico, you're like, yeah.
More than a giggle. Probably say some words that can't be repeated.
Let's go.
Especially when you think like he's probably been hearing his teammates like the last like 3 rounds saying like, oh, he's tagging us, and Nico's like, all right, listen, I'll take care of that this round. Don't worry.
I got you.
Yeah.
9-4. 14th round here. Poison finally taken out of that position in T-spawn, and they're all on catwalk. They really have no, like, if somebody was pushing up a dark, which I guess almost Guardian is, they wouldn't know. Like, they just have no idea what's happening in that case.
This has been their whole T side. No map control, no real progression across. It's just group up, hit a choke point, see what happens. Nico was able to destroy them last time with a couple of nice kills from this off. The drop down, it works. It's at least a trade. Nico's got to look down now. He knows one's going to coming from behind. That's beautiful. Olaf saves him coming through spawn smoke, and now it's just ships. He's got 1 on rail. Still has to worry about long, and now for him, it's get into the bomb site, get your 1 on 3 in the post plant, and see what happens afterwards.
He's looking. I kind of like this. He almost has to sort of look for a fight immediately just to try and clear it up, but they're not giving him any fights. Gets the bomb eventually, but now really planted. Even then, you know, he's got no place to stand. What a tough position to be in. And Guardian will take him down. So 10-4, leading into round number 15.
It's been scrappy. As you mentioned, there's been some opportunities for Windigo, and they've had some cool moments, but overall, the product is lacking here. 4-10. FaZe have done a good job surviving some pressure that was applied, and now just extending their lead.
Poison batting pretty well here for it. He's going to take the 1 shot. Nico, is he going to do it again?
He won't do it again.
No, not one more time. That would be making sort of a statement, though, wouldn't it? You know.
Got to mix things up, Anders. Can't give him the same look.
Well, he doesn't, so you were right.
This catwalk hit, outside of the save run with the Deagles, this has not been successful.
But they do like it.
They do love it. For some reason. I mean, they did throw like 3 or 4 mid to B executes in the first like 9 rounds of the game, so they might be thinking they exhausted their mid to B split.
Maybe these are the 2 strats that they've sort of managed to put together with Calyx here. They're like,
yeah, that's the thing. It is hard to be too critical of tactics. You are playing with a stand-in as well, so probably trying to keep it simple to an extent for his sake.
Bubble tried to get out the middle, but it looked like he sort of jumped and fell too short, and then he sort of like tried to, you know, cover the rest of the distance.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really sure about that. Set up there. That smoke is always incredibly suspicious. I feel like people kind of know what this is about. Nico knows. That was not bad at all. Ships to take down Nico now. 4 on 3 with 30 seconds left, and Olaf going to stand his ground in the corner, and Ships trying to edge his way in, but I mean, the more time that goes by, the worse it's going to get. Olaf to end it with a triple, and that will be 11-4 in their favor. Great job for FaZe to recover from a little bit of pressure early on. We're going to go to a break, and then we're going to come back in the second half. Stay with us. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Second half coming up here. Second round of matches here. It's FaZe and Windigo at DreamHack Masters, and I'm excited. I think Windigo had some opportunities, but they needed to sort of keep running with it. And it's like as soon as they let FaZe back in the game, that was it. My biggest problem is that when I feel like whenever we see a team upset somebody on Dust2, it's off the back of a pretty solid T side, right? Like you feel like you do a little bit more damage on your offense. This has not panned out, and now you're playing with a stand-in on a map where rotations are critical against a team that has an incredible amount of talent across 5 players. This is going to be tough. That's a good start, though. Push in towards upper dark, catches Nico off. He's down for the fight. Now out mid, Olaf tries to equalize. It's not going to happen, and the A bomb site is the only option left. Guardian, Rain, and Neo all grouping up on catwalk, about to hit this site, and Bubble can delay as long as he'd like. Yeah, flashbang to buy a bit of time. Even as a second one, actually, that's going to be pretty good. Oh, no! What a shot coming out from Bubble, taking down Rain. That was That was right on the limit, wasn't it? Ships now sneaking in behind him in the smokers. Another couple of kills. He doesn't even need it at the end. Just gets taken down by the rest of the defense. So that was... I'd love to see that shot from Bubble again.
Yeah, that was sick. That was a real nice flick. I think, I mean, that's also a great job. I like the initiative of going in towards Upper Dark. You're down 4-11 on your CT side. You're the underdogs. Go take a risk somewhere. And it didn't look like FaZe had any kind of idea of how to respond once Nico goes down in those holes. You can see Olaf, the idea for him is if Nico calls 2 pushing Upper Dark, he thought correctly you'd have at least push out mid and have a one-on-one fight somewhere. And he got that one-on-one fight, just not able to win it.
Oh, Ships handled himself pretty well in that position. Now we've got Deagles on the FaZe side, and at least one smoke there on Neo, so you never know what could happen if they could get themselves into a position. That smoke, Neo's just waiting really far behind with it, so not clear what they're going to do just yet, but they've been given a lot of space in middle. They could definitely find maybe a shot here with the Deagle.
Neo has the one smoke to see if he what he decides to take advantage of once the decision is made. Out mid is one. That's been spotted as well. But that's a dangerous position to be in. Neo still has his smoke as well. So Neo, imagine, oh, he's gone for the peek a little too early. I thought he was going to try and pinch it a bit better, but it's so tough. When you're in mid and you're exposed like that from so many different angles, you feel like you got to do something. And that pretty much makes FaZe call this off entirely. Back to mid we go. Drop the smoke in CT spawn. See if you can make it. But Bubbles here with the SMG. He's going to get an easy spray down. No kill comes out. But there shouldn't be a whole lot of danger from this hit. There's no real power behind it for FaZe.
No, not really anymore. Yeah, and I agree. I mean, Nico probably thought he was about to get shot in the back, so he just wanted to get the show on the road, basically. Oh! I mean, Poison is hitting some pretty good shots. We've got to give him that.
Yeah, from the first half as well.
Yeah. It's very methodical on the fist bumps, right?
Between every single round?
Yeah, he's sort of collecting them. It's like
I think that would bother me as a player.
there's no real passion behind them. It's just sort of like...
Well, you know, like I get it for clutches, but at some point you find the comfortable hand position on the mouse, on the keyboard. Your body's all perfectly positioned. If you're fist bumping every single time, you're going to throw some of that out of whack.
That's how calibrated your style is, Moses.
Yeah. I need my comfort.
You know the StarCraft players that show up with like a ruler, just like position the keyboard perfectly and everything?
Yeah, I don't go that far.
All right. Well, maybe that's going to be the next thing. Oh, Rain, Nico. Oh no, how's this falling apart down and long, and now Bubble regretting absolutely all of it.
He's regretting his whole existence.
Yeah, he's really not happy. Mistakes were absolutely made.
I'm on my way, bro. Help. Oh, shit.
Oh, Ships.
Oh, Ships.
He's down. All of us waiting for him. So, I don't know. This is it's kind of sad because, you know, this. I don't know if Windigo could easily come back and win this game, but if they could have kept sort of, you know, building on that pistol round win,
yeah,
then at least the scoreline at the end would look much more comparable. It would look, you know, a little bit cooler on their side.
I think it's just kind of I think it's just a good glimpse of like what Windigo is facing off against. There's just so many win conditions for FaZe. Like when you have players who can just march out long and get one kill with a P250 and a follow up with a Deagle like immediately in 3 seconds like that.
Yeah.
Like one mistake, any misstep that a player from Windigo makes can be punished. FaZe is going to be much better at punishing that than Windigo is. So you don't have that same ability in return to the same degree.
Yeah, we sort of. I mean, I think. So if anyone's wondering why, at least I'm a little bit pessimistic about their chances here on the CT side, it's just that when you saw how they like to group up on the T side, you don't really have that luxury when you're playing on that CT side, and
yeah,
you're gonna be facing like 3 or 4 or 5 FaZe members with like, you know, two or three people at the most defending, probably 2 on Dust2. So I just think that's gonna be very rough. Yeah, CT side Dust2 is a strange place to be most of the time. Oh, grenade. It's going to land right behind him. It's a decent idea. Calyx trying to follow it up, and he actually does a great job. But still 2 on 3, even if Neo is very low on health. And he's still going to be pushing in. Find one, and then maybe Nico. Is he going to take the B bomb site?
Yeah, Nico loves this. When he's on the other side of the map, he's so very good at reading the map and what's happening, and he knows that his teammates have caused so much action, likely pulled the defender out of the B bomb site. Now he's just got to find him, and a lot of this is down to timing. I think it's... Ooh, it seemed like it was with Nico, but Victor comes back.
That's actually an impressive kill for Victor.
Guardian was making the rotation. Now on a 1-on-2, he's got a minute and 8 seconds, and he's got the whole map.
Surely when Victor goes to look into B, he thinks, oh, no one's here. So when he comes back out, like, why would he expect someone to be there? So the fact that he's reacting quick enough,
no.
I can't believe it. That is not an easy shot for Guardian to hit. So many angles, but he picks it up anyway, taking down Victor in the window, and now the cross. He knows Poison's on the other side somewhere. I don't know if he realizes how close he is, but up in the window, Guardian falling back. He's just taking a quick look there. The scope might get him killed almost. Up in the window! Oh my god! He picks it up anyway. Outrageous.
I can't believe he hit. Both of those shots were stunners. That second one, not even knowing where he was coming from. Disadvantage. And that face kind of says it all. You're just like, eee.
Well,
pissed off the master.
Yeah. This is... Like, he gets caught jumping.
Yep.
And he actually lands on that little ledge right next to the box. Because if he hadn't done that, his jump would have continued for a little bit longer and he probably would have got killed, but yeah, that's wild. 13-6. Well, we did talk a little bit about it, some of the advantages that FaZe have, and
yeah,
those are it.
There's a big one right there. The talent and experience in clutch situations on FaZe is just, it's almost unparalleled. 2 players out of long. And again, Windigo on this save, on this small force, gonna try and get creative, try and do something. Calyx has missed his chance. Doesn't give up the fight, doesn't retreat, and now the Molotov burns Bubble right into the crosshairs of Olaf. And Windigo, I guess the only thing you can really do is consolidate your forces, 3 players, and see if you can make something happen. But it's only a matter of time as FaZe continues this slow march into the A-bomb site.
Yeah, they've not even really taken any damage, so they should be just fine here. Making the cross on over. About to be 14-6. So very hard to see how, if at all, there is any kind of a path back to it. What Calyx was trying to do there, pushing up with the Deagle, I think that sort of illustrates one of the problems with playing CT side Dust2, is that while he did that in that round, generally it's quite hard to be, you know, to get any kind of a like map advantage or map control on the CT side. Like where are you going to push really? Like sometimes upper dark if you're really feeling adventurous. Maybe like you sort of push a little bit forward to catwalk, but not much. Long if you are, but it's all risky, right? It's all really risky.
Yeah, that long fight is always a big one for the CTs to win. If they can hold on to long and get a player there consistently with a solidified defense, that's usually a big win in my book. Olaf gonna head there now. He had the spawn for the AWP. There's the flash. Misses the flick over, but got a little bit of intel, and there's no point fighting further for that. It's a lot of resources put there by Windigo. 4 players and some utility, which means for the rest of the round, they only have 2 flashbangs. So this is not the best round or the best buy in the world to get started on a comeback. You're down 8 rounds at this point, and you don't really have a whole lot to fight with. No kits and a scout on board as well.
Yeah, they really are in a lot of trouble, aren't they? Again, I do feel a little bit bad because I definitely think this scoreline could have been much more favorable. Like, could have probably been up towards, you know, 9 or 10 rounds. Even, oh, that's a good lineup. Almost could have got him through the wall, but Nico's going to step out and take him down. So, still 4-on-4 here. Bomb making its way into upper dark, and there's only one person defending B. That's not good. Oh, actually, backup is coming quick. This is a heads-up play. The M4A1 in play, and somehow Bubble getting both the kills. I don't think Rain knew where the shot were coming from.
No, but it should give Victor all the information. 2 kills in mid. They were trying to come out. It's going to be a mid to B split. He was aware, he was ready, but he can't win the fight. Neo, with all the HP, can go plant the bomb. Flashbang distracts Bubble long enough, so at least a plant, but there goes Olaf. He was probably trying to get sneaky, wrapping around, and Neo in a 1-on-2 now. There's all the pop flashes. They're coming over, and Neo's got to hide in the smoke. He's going to come right through. He's not aware of the op, though. An easy kill for Poison. Doesn't even use the scope. 14-7 as Windigo hang on. They're going to need more of that. More of those timely pushes, timely risks, those flanks out long.
Yeah, that was... I mean, that definitely saved the round, didn't it? And it's one of the few times that we're probably going to see for a while now the M4A1 in action. That even caught me off guard.
There's a few players who still use it.
It's got very rare, hasn't it? Like, can you name one on top of your head? Like,
Me?
Well,
yeah, I can actually. It's or no, maybe I can't. Is it Alexi that uses it on Ents?
okay.
Or Ariel, maybe. One of the two.
But we've got like a maybe.
Forrest still uses it.
Does he? Sure, I feel like he switched at some point. Maybe. Oh, we can find out.
All right, I'm not 100%, but there are people who still use it.
We got a couple of maybes. That's.
Listen, there's a lot of AUGs on the board these days. No one even cares about the M4 debate at this
Yeah,
point.
well, that's a good point. 14-7. 22nd round here. Again, mid-control here for Faze. They seem to have had a lot of it. Certainly got the grenades as well, flashing their way into the B-bomb site. And Ships, he has to win not just that fight, but the follow-up one, and they can't do it. So 4 versus 3, and
It's got to be a save call. There's no even reason for Windigo to go for this, especially when you're down 7-14. That would be backbreaking. You have no economy. You need these weapons. So unfortunate that they can't even fight for it, but a very convincing hit on the B-bomb site from Faze.
yeah, that worked out very well. That mid-control, I mean, Faze, I think, have sort of figured out over a couple of rounds now that that is a place they can go to, and that it works out quite well for them. There's not much you can do. 2 people inside the B-bomb side like that, you're going to be in trouble. Now just looking for the last couple of kills here. Poison. Ooh, he got the hit, but that's his thing now.
Yeah, Guardian.
Tagging people up with the
Guardian was better. What's that jump? Oh, Calyx has lost his mind.
and his life.
Yeah, he deserves it.
Oh man, they're out of money, Moses. They're about to be out of rounds too. 15-7 here.
Why do you try and make that happen? I thought he was safe. Was someone on that catwalk or something?
It could have been. Maybe we didn't see. Maybe we were just doing him a huge injustice, but it did look funny.
Don't care.
Giving up any kind of a cling to justice, have you? Just
Yeah, as if it wasn't hard enough. He's just going to give away one last gun as well. So, tactical timeout as Windigo talk over what could be their last round, and it's a great possibility. 2 Deagles, a FAMAS, a Scout, and the M4 on Bubble. 1 kit, not a lot of utility.
Guardian fighting in the middle. Yeah, you're right. They really don't have a lot to work with here. Faze. Ooh, they step on a couple of grenades there and run into the M4. It's going to be Bubble picking up that headshot on Nico, so good start.
That's a really nice start. Fair play to Nico, keeping up the plan even though you ate 2 nades. Olaf's going to creep out mid. You have a nice crossfire here from Windigo. The main action is up catwalk. Olaf wants to stop the lurk, stop the rotation. This is going to weaken things if he can get the follow-up as well, and he does. This hasn't prompted anyone to move, but it is going to prompt Faze to change their idea. They wanted to hit up catwalk and have Olaf in position. Now they can turn it into a mid to B split. They know at most there's only 1 defender in this bomb site, and he's going to get overrun. It's Victor with the Deagle.
Oh man, what a position to be in. He's going to have to hit all the shots here. There's one ready and waiting, and he almost gets the second one. That could have actually worked out. Rain down the middle, stopping the rotation, and that's all on Calyx. The bomb is going to go down. It's a 1-on-3 for him. Yeah, what a turnaround. I mean, Olaf saving them in that round, I think. Those couple of kills right there were all they needed. And Calyx is hoping that someone's going to give it to him. Instead, it's Guardian to take him down, and it's 16-7 in favor of Faze, taking down Windigo here, the best of 1. Yeah, what a... I mean, I don't know. I think they could have had many more rounds here, Windigo.
Yeah, it felt like they had some opportunities, some chances, but outclassed too often and too frequently. I mean, that's a hard thing to keep up with, and eventually you just feel like you can't do anything right. 11-4 in the first half. Dominant showing from Faze. Olaf with 26. Now, I don't think this tells us any big picture about Faze as a team or as Olaf as an individual. It's against Windigo. Essentially, all they did here was get the job done, right?
Yeah, and they pretty much just on the T side Windigo, what, they went B and catwalk. and that was it.
Yeah, pretty much.
And when B stopped working, they went to catwalk, and catwalk never worked. So
Catwalk did indeed never work. Either way, we have our desk ready. We have the boys, Trace and the rest of the analysts. Take it away, gentlemen. How'd you like that game?
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I think you delivered it. You know, crisp, clean game right there. Also, not exactly the crisp look of FaZe that really kind of drove him over the end there, but ultimately the veterancy did.
I think that's what I was expecting. I think I said, you know, somewhere between 16-8, 16-10. If this was golf, we would say par for the course. It's very difficult to get too much out of Windigo with all the different things that have been fronted for them as an issue. Obviously, Calyx, the language issue, not having your players here, short notice. We could go on for days with that kind of situation. Right. Now, looking at FaZe, if we wanted to grab a lot, we can't even look too much in the T side. There was only 8 rounds in total with their T half, of them obviously winning 5 of them. But the CT side looks like they're plugging and playing Neo into a Dren's position, which was anchoring long. So that's about all that we can really tell you from that matchup.
Well, why don't we go ahead and step away from our desk here and down to the tournament floor where Frankie is standing by with, I believe, Guardian. Let's see what they've got.
I have got a Guardian. He's slightly got his hood up. He was just being sad Guardian for me because last time we spoke, he wasn't happy, but now he is. Guardian, how was that for you?
Amazing.
And why was it amazing? I noticed, obviously, Nico not calling anymore. You've got Neo on your team now.
Yeah, apparently, like, I think it's working all good. I mean, it was the first game at LAN, and online we didn't have really good results, but it felt everything good. I think we played our game, and we were calm, collected, and it was just a good game.
And Windigo didn't really stop you playing your own game, did they? And of course, they're playing with Calyx instead of Blocker today. Do you think that made a big difference to them?
Probably it did, but I would say Janko did a great job before the game. He knew what map we will play, and we exactly knew what they are doing, and they did exactly the same round. So it was much easier to play. So there's big credit to Janko.
And only the 4th series you've played with Neo, but what difference has he made to the team?
Obviously now he's the in-game leader, so I think Nico can play his like natural role in the team, so that helps a lot. And now we have Nico and Neo working together, so it's much easier for both players to call mid-round or in the beginning. So I mean, the game in general is much easier, and it was good.
Wow, it feels good to talk to you, Guardian. Thank you so much for chatting. We'll see you play a best of 3 next, so good luck with that. And let's head back to the desk.
Yeah, he's saying it feels good, and it kind of, you know, it looks good. Again, we can't put too much stock in this first match, this first BO1. I think there's still going to be a lot of telling signs as to these guys gelling together, Neo at the helm.
Yeah, for sure, but the positivity coming out of Guardian here is something I find remarkable. Also, the fact that we have Olaf Master playing well. Again, I know it's, again, a game that they're supposed to win, but we haven't seen him on his level, so to speak, on his stride in a long, long time. So good to see him coming out swinging, and again, you got to find the small, you know, positive things, and I think Olaf Master having a great game is something FaZe need if they want to get back to the level we know them to be at. Not only a team that can go to the playoff, but win the entire thing.
That might be the key point, right? With Neo coming in, even if he doesn't do a lot of impact on the scoreboard, but you can have 4 superstars fulfilling that role, right? 4 players just putting up massive numbers every single game, or making up the job of the 5th while having him call shots and be able to contribute. Obviously, on the CT side, if you're in an anchor position, you need to be getting 1 or 2 kills. I get that, but if you can get more out of Olaf, Rain, Nico, and Guardian than what they were when they had a Dren on the team, I think you're in a better position, regardless of what Neo's contributions frag-wise are.
Sort of how they did with Kerrigan on the team, right?
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Looks like you guys have it all figured out, at least all the math. Speaking of math, we can start to crunch some of the numbers that are over on the other stream. We did have a B stream, and that did conclude, at least in that last matchup, with Ninjas and Pajamas beating up on Tyloo. Not necessarily, you know, like beating them up, but 16.
They could have been. We don't see what's going on. It's on the B stream.
The interesting part is that Pito is standing in there.
And that means that now FaZe, well, okay, in the context of that game, Tyloo are going to be kicking themselves that they couldn't actually get that one, considering they had a commanding lead, right? It was actually a comeback from NIP in that first half, which made the game interesting. Yep. But FaZe now potentially have an extremely easy run to the playoffs because they play against NIP.
Potentially, they have an extremely easy road to the playoff.
Well, guess what, guys? Coming up after the break, we do have another matchup coming your way, that of the Renegades taking on G2. Both teams looking to be in full strength, specifically the Renegades, who will be joined by Gratis Faction here in Dallas, Texas for the CORSAIR DreamHack Masters. Let's go to a break. When we come back, we got another best of 1 coming your way.